you spend your whole life trying to control as much as you can. And so my background in undergraduate and graduate school was really extremely technical. I went to, most importantly, I went to Ohio University for graduate school, studied with a teacher there named Arnold Gasson. And he wrote, at the time, very important books called the Handbooks for Contemporary Photography. So your first year in school, in graduate school, was all about researching for his books, black and white, color, dye transfer, film, parametric curves, everything about the materials themselves. So my basis for information and knowledge about materials was huge by that point, and really reluctantly so, because I really didn't want to know all that stuff. I just wanted to make pictures. And so in the first year, they had 10 students in that program, and it was one of the top programs in the country at the time. So you spent the first year working with him. We didn't like each other. He was too controlling. I had very long hair at the time, and didn't really like him and his work. But at the same time, I knew what I was getting out of it was just a tremendous basis for everything that became what I did in the future. Half the class left, like I said. The other thing that happened in big universities was you taught in the undergraduate program. So I taught level 1 black and white, level 1 color. I taught alternate processes, and then they paid you. So I mean, how my father would kill me if I left this environment. So it was a huge education. And by the second year, then you're just free to do your own work and work on your thesis and so on. So we ended up becoming best friends the second year. And so it was actually an enormously satisfying kind of relationship. So when I left graduate school, I decided to move back to New York, which is where I came from, and with 2 other friends, both who were in graduate school, one at Rochester and one at Indiana. And I worked for a commercial photographer for a bit, but more importantly, the 3 of us got together and decided to create a black and white specialty lab that there wasn't any of in 1979, 1980. It was really at the beginning of the whole industry when black and white photography was kind of changing its presence in the world, right? You had Diane Arbus's show at the Modern in '72, you had the whole trajectory of the money that was involved in black and white materials and the production of it. Larry Fink's show, John Cohen's show. It was enormous kind of vision and presence for black and white photography. There was no real specialty lab that strictly worked with high-end exhibition printing.